Hello and welcome, fellow Easy Billers, to another new and exciting feature release update here at EZBilling360. Of course, we are talking about the multilingual and multi-currency features. Before we walk you through on how to configure these new exciting features, let us first explain how these features enhance the invoicing capabilities within EZBilling360 and how you will benefit. Prior to this release, you were able to only send out invoices using the English language and collect payments only in your native currency. For example, let's say you have a company located in New York City, USA. All invoices you sent were in English, and all your clients were only able to pay you using the US dollar. With this new release, you are now able to send out your invoices in one of 13 available languages. In addition, you're now also able to bill them in over 100 plus currencies. So let's take an example. If you're in the United States and have a client in Brazil, you will now be able to change the invoice language to Portuguese, as well as be able to bill them in their native currency, the Brazilian dollar. If, as another example, you have another client in Canada, you'll be able to set the language to English and bill them using the Canadian dollars, and so on and so forth. So how can you configure the multilingual and multi-currency feature? You can do it in one of two ways. To set it globally, where it will apply to all your clients, set it from the company profile module. To configure it on a per client basis, do so using the custom profile module. Let's start with the company profile. As you may already know, changing configuration settings within the company profile applies to company-wide settings as well as to all your clients. For example, this means that once you change from English to French, all prior sent invoice as well as all future invoices will now appear to your clients in French. On the other hand, if you change your currency from the United States dollar to, for example, Brazilian dollar, all future invoices will be sent using the Brazilian dollars. Previous invoices will remain in their original currency. Since making changes using the company profile applies to all your clients, it's a matter of best practice and highly recommended that you configure multilingual and multi-currency using the custom profile module. Let's now share an example in which we can use these settings as applied in a company profile to bill a client. For this example, let's go to Instant Invoice and select one of our clients. Think of us. We're going to add a line in the invoice. Set up PC, for example, 2.5 hours. We can immediately notice that it's in US dollars, as well as the totals are in US dollars. We'll send the invoice. We're going to say OK. And as always, we are taken to the View Invoices module, where we can see the invoice we just sent. To view the invoice itself, let's click on Viewed and then click on the link. Once we open the link, we'll check out that indeed the invoice is in English, as well as the currency is set to US dollars. We're all set. Let's try a different example. In this case, let's configure for one of our clients to use a custom profile. In this case, Javier Electrical. As we can see, we have already set his language to bill in Portuguese, and the currency to use is the Brazilian dollar. Let's check that out. I go back into Instant Invoice. I select Javier's Electrical. Next, I'm going to add a line. And I'm going to select 3 hours at $180 an hour, and I'm going to append that to the invoice. Immediately, we notice that the invoice entry line is listed in Brazilian dollars. We also notice that the bottom, the subtotal, the sales tax total, and amount due are all listed in Brazilian dollars. Notice that everything here remains in English. Let's send this invoice out and notice the behavior. Send invoice, click OK. Once we are sent out, we notice that the invoice, again, we're taken to the View Invoices module, and we can see that the invoice sent is to Javier Gonzalez, and it's in Brazilian dollar. You will notice here that we updated the View Invoices module with a new drop-down for balance due. Here you can take a look at balances due respective to the currency. In this instance, since we sent the invoice in Brazilian dollars, we are automatically taken to the correct screen that shows the Brazilian invoice. Let's click on Viewed Invoice and see this invoice. Once we click on the link, we open up the invoice. Invoice shows up, as you can see, in Portuguese, as well as the amount due is in Brazilian dollars and in using the format native to that country. To help ease the management of multi-currency billing, we've enhanced the accounts receivable widget in the dashboard. Go to Dashboard And you will notice in the accounts receivable widget that there's a new drop-down. By selecting the drop-down, you'll be able to select the currency and see all invoices billed underneath that currency. You'll be able to toggle back and forth to make management easier. Same is true, again, under View Invoices, where you have the Balance Due drop-down. You'll be able to see the total amounts due for each currency and manage invoices that way. All filters still apply relative to the currency selected using the drop-down. That's really all there is to it, folks. We hope you enjoy these new multi-currency, multilingual features. We hope you use it to your best benefit. If you have suggestions, you can always send them to us at info@EZBilling360.com. Until the new feature is introduced, folks, this is Jeff saying goodbye. Let us know if you have any questions. Chat with us online. We're always available. Have a great day.